MrBeast put out a tweet about the Super Bowl ads. Like, he has this idea. A lot of brands, CEOs, and CMOs responded, but one of them was the Salesforce CEO, Mark Benioff. He says yes. He went to their headquarters, and it sounds like they're doing a Super Bowl ad together. ChatGPT is screwed. OpenAI is screwed. I'm sorry. Because I think the product is already getting worse, and there's a lot of people talking about that. Not like worse, but like not as good as the others. Gemini, Claude, all that stuff. If they're just going to start taking over 35% of the screen there with an ad, I think they're screwed. People are going to leave it. Recently, I looked up like, what's the best luggage for traveling overseas or something like that. I didn't realize they actually show pictures. They'll show luggages within it if you're doing those types of searches. It was basically like a Google shopping thing within ChatGPT.
This one is a little bit of a sad story. When he went on vacation for the birth of his son, he was terminated.
This is why corporate sucks. Like, there was no good scenario.
We spent $15,000 over 5 weeks promoting a gated ebook. We got 106 downloads. That's $142 per lead. Half gave us fake emails. A third downloaded it to avoid looking uninformed in a meeting, not because they wanted to buy anything. When we looked at the actual numbers, 3,400 people landed on that ebook page. Only 3% filled out the form. We were actively preventing 97% of interested visitors from engaging with our content.
Hey, it's Dave Gerhardt. I spent my career in marketing going from PR intern to CMO, and now I spend my time running Exit 5, which is, in my opinion, at least the world's best community for B2B marketers. If you need a place to connect with your peers, get feedback on your work, or just make new friends in marketing, you should go and check us out. It's exit5.com. You can learn more.
This episode is brought to you by our friends at Vector. You know them. The ones with the cute little ghosties in the feed, aka your favorite marketing team's favorite ad targeting tool. See why at vector.co.
Urgent all hands.
We actually do have an urgent all hands this week.
That's a good one.
And I stole it for myself because I'm selfish. I put my name next to it. Like, I'm going to cover
fair.
this.
That's very fair.
Even though it does have something to do with both of our lines of work, actually, outside of Notorious B2B. So it's actually quite interesting.
Okay.
But OpenAI announces that they're going to start testing ads in ChatGPT. And what was your first reaction? To troll Kaylee and me by putting a screenshot together of ads in ChatGPT that you just stole from Google and put in there, and you sent it to us, and you actually fooled us both, which you knew would be very easy to do.
No, I didn't, because I thought you two were very smart, but clearly not. Like, it was the easiest Canva job I've ever done in my life, and you both just fell for it. And I was just like, I didn't even laugh because I'm just like, oh, that's sad.
Immediately fell for it. That was the best part.
Yeah.
Immediately. Like, there wasn't even a seed of doubt in my mind. You know what happened first? It was FOMO. It was like, wait, why am I not seeing this shit? I want to see it. Where does it go? I'm like asking you questions like, is it going to a landing page? Where is it going? You're like, what did you say? You said something like puppets. That's what you called us. Puppets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, we are.
yeah.
You're both the puppets in that scenario.
Okay, for other people, living under a rock and have no idea what we're talking about, here's the scoop. On January 16th, OpenAI releases a press release and says that they are going to start testing ads within ChatGPT's interface. And I did you all a favor and without AI, summarize the article. I know, I actually put in a little work. Okay, so number one, who will see it and when? So they're starting to test ads only in the US in the upcoming weeks for the free tier and a go tier. So apparently the go tier is new. It's a new lower cost tier. I think it's going to be $8, and I think the lowest one right now is $10. So they're going to have an $8 one. These are for like students and people who like can't spend as much. Okay. So in the free and go tiers, they're going to beta test the ads. The Plus, Pro, Business, and Enterprise accounts will not include ads. And during the test, they're not going to show ads in the accounts where they either know for sure or suspect that the user is under 18. So no minors will be shown ads under 18. Ads are also not eligible to appear near sensitive or regulated topics like health, mental health, or politics. How will they appear? They will be clearly labeled and will show up at the bottom of the answers in ChatGPT when there is a relevant sponsored product or service based on your current conversation. Number three, Answer independence. They're saying ads will not influence the answers that ChatGPT gives you. They are optimized based on what's most helpful to you. The ads will always be separate and clearly labeled. This is the promise that they're making to you. Did Google make such promises in the beginning? We'll have
Well,
to go back.
they started off by saying like don't be evil or something like that, and they've obviously changed a little bit. I'm not saying they're evil, but they've gotten rid of that slogan.
Yeah. They've gotten rid of the evil song. A little evil is fine. Privacy. They say that they will never sell your data to advertisers, and your conversations will also be kept private and never shared. Which is interesting because they obviously have access to your conversations to show you personalized and relevant ads. So it's kind of like, wow.
That's how advertising works, though. I mean,
yeah, but maybe they're just
information.
they're just not selling it back to the advertisers. Choice and control. So you control how your data is used. You can turn off personalization. You can also clear the data used for ads at any time. They will also always offer a way to not see ads, including a paid tier that's ad free. You will be able to, so you could pay them more to not see the ads, kind of just like how YouTube.
It's like everything.
Yes.
It's just
yeah. You will be able to learn more about why you are seeing an ad or dismiss an ad and tell us why. So if you see an ad and you're like, wait, why am I getting ads for Depends? I'm only 36. You can ask them why and then say, okay, listen, I'm not in diapers yet. And then finally, their last thing, which we will hold them to the most, is that long-term value. We do not optimize for time spent in ChatGPT. We prioritize user trust and user experience over revenue. Obviously, LinkedIn was full of posts that kind of summarized this, talked about this. That's kind of where I learned about it first. Thank you, LinkedIn. And then I went and looked at the press release myself. But the gist is just that from those posts as well. I'm ready for your thoughts. And I have some follow-up questions too.
I don't, to be honest, so there's two sides of this here. I'm a pro. I currently pay for pro, so I won't get the ads, so it won't affect me that much. Where I will get mad, and this is because we've seen this in Netflix and Disney Plus and all those streaming shows, is where you pay for it and there's no ads. Like you paid for it, right? There's just no ads. And then over time, now you have to pay more to get no ads, but if you pay, you're going to start getting ads. It's just like less ads or something like that. I feel like that's going to happen at some point. Hopefully not, but I feel like it will. I don't know what they're going to look like. Are they just going to be like little banners at the top? Are they going to be, it says it's not going to change what the information is. So like, how do they integrate it with that? I did, a lot of my searches are B2B specific. And recently, because of this, I was like curious, like, are they even showing ads yet? And I looked up like, what's the best luggage for traveling overseas or something like that. And I didn't realize, this is so silly, I didn't realize they actually show pictures within the thing. Like they'll show luggages within it if you're doing those types of searches. That's like, I feel like that's going to be instantly, like the first three are just going to be ads for something like that. Because it was basically like a Google shopping thing within ChatGPT.
Yes.
And then obviously that does affect it, because it's saying there's not going to affect the output, like what your answers are. But if the first three images are ads, that's going to be affecting what you're seeing. On the other side of it, advertiser, I'm fucking pumped to try it out.
Yeah.
I'm going to freaking ruin that stuff so bad.
There it is.
My shit's gonna be everywhere. If they give you options to do display ads and like banner ads, I'm gonna be going crazy with all that stuff.
Yeah,
it's gonna be.
We're gonna do
awesome.
what were those? A homepage takeover. We're gonna do a freaking ChatGPT takeover. That's what's gonna happen. Okay, when you mentioned
interesting.
When you mentioned
that video, like you just integrate like a video, that'd be amazing.
Okay, when you mentioned that you don't know what it's going to look like, the press release actually does have images, and I'm going to share now. So if you're only listening and you're not watching, one, you should be watching, as I always tell you to.
Fact.
But two, you can just look up the OpenAI press release for it, and you'll be able to see it in the article there. So I'm going to show you what it looks like or will look like. So here this is, so they have a screenshot here from mobile, which is so interesting to me. And then you have someone saying, hey, I want a simple but authentic Mexican dish ideas for my dinner party. they have you have the ChatGPT organic answer in there, and then you have a Harvest Grocery sponsored ad in the bottom with like a suggestion to buy this hot sauce or whatever, which is like, okay, right, this should be interesting for B2B whenever that happens. So then the next one, you're looking for places to stay in Santa Fe, Mexico. And then you have this ad for like desert cottages or something like that, right? And then if you have a trip and you click on that, you have a trip, they're happy to help. But what are you thinking? And when are you thinking about going? And then it kind of leads you down that path of trying to build the stuff. So this is how they're envisioning the ads to work. Now thoughts?
ChatGPT is screwed. OpenAI is screwed. I'm sorry.
Why?
Because I think the product, in my opinion, is already getting worse. And there's a lot of people talking about that. Not like worse, but like not as good as the others. Gemini, Claude, all that stuff. If they're just going to start taking over 35% of the screen there with an ad, that might be personalized. Like I get that, but it's still 35% of it. Like it almost looks like that reminded me of the blog posts of, like you mentioned recently, you ask for a recipe and half the things just affiliate links and ads. Like that's exactly what it kind of looked like to me. So I think they're screwed. People are going to leave it. Because Gemini.
Okay.
And other places.
Okay. But that aside, because OpenAI is just going to start this, but not to say that Google, who's notoriously the biggest freaking place you can advertise on, they're going to do it with Gemini eventually. It's just going to cascade into the other ones. One is just doing the testing and the other ones are going to follow suit, right? That's one. Mm-hmm. Two, our actual Google search is the same way. You have like 5 sponsored results and then you scroll, people scroll all the way down for their stuff. So they flipped it where they have the organic answer first and then they have some suggestions in the bottom. What I don't see, or maybe it is in here, there's 3 dots and you can maybe exit out of the ads or something like that. But yeah, you're like trying to read and half the page, especially in a mobile interface, half the page is taken up with that. That could 100% be annoying. But I don't think that consumers are necessarily not used to this. This is like not a new thing to them, right? Like we are used to kind of going around the ads situation.
Yeah. So one of my favorite subscriptions of all time is YouTube Premium because there's no ads. I think this will be second. I will not, even though I don't like it as much anymore, like I'm starting to move away from ChatGPT. I'm probably just going to keep, if I do still use it, I'm just going to make sure I pay so I don't have the ads.
So you will pay so you don't
100%.
see ads as 100%. A marketer?
Yes. Because I can, right? Like, because I can and I use it for business and stuff like that. Like I can.
Okay.
The other side, I'm going to be freaking trying it.
Yeah.
Hardcore. Just freaking, you type, I know it's not how it works, but you type in, if I know this is a B2B marketer and they're typing in recipes and B2B Riz pops right up, you know that's happening. You know for a fact that's happening. I'm going to try that out.
Okay, but there is some level of actual AI that's in here because it's going to be based on the person's conversations. They're not going to show B2B Riz for someone searching for a recipe, They're going to be a little
landing
smarter
page.
than you.
How about my landing page, though? How about recipe landing page that I made for B2B Riz?
So the question is, now, what is that actually going to look like for us? You're in the business of ads. I'm in the business of ads in their landing pages, right? So when you were trolling us in the group chat, my first question was, wait, when you click on it, does it go to a landing page or does it just then open up into a different chat that's asking more about that ad and more about that product within the chat? Because they had these 2 screenshots where someone did click on the cottages and then it said, oh, cool, you're planning a trip. What can I help you look for? When are you going? And then it kind of helps you book and do the purchases within the interface itself. It's one of those things where it's like the AI answers are not driving people to the websites anymore, but it's kind of this chicken and egg thing because the AI answer is very dependent on the content that exists on websites. So what is that going to look like? Are we going to have, our landing page is going to need to have a lot more context so that these engines are pulling it, giving it to them in that interface? My answer is yes, and I hope it moves that way because that aligns with my POV selfishly. But for you, like, what is that going to look like? Are we going to see all these taglines on LinkedIn that's like AI ads marketer? 100%. I mean, I already see it. People are probably already doing it and it hasn't even launched yet.
Yeah, 100%. There's going to be a ChatGPT or an
Ads
OpenAI
manager.
certificate. There's going to be an
Yes.
ads manager. There's going to be courses. You know that's going to happen. Obviously, it's too early right now where it's not going to be probably people's taglines, but at some point it will. When someone, there's going to be ChatGPT. Well, and maybe it will turn into like AI marketing. AI search marketing, I guess. I don't know what you call it, but there's going to be AI search agencies. There's going to be all those. There's going to be, that's going to be the thing. Right now, it's just going to be added to the current agency model under search or whatever. But yeah, there's definitely going to be that. I do think from the back end, there's going to be options, like to your point on like, you click it and it goes to the landing page. I think there's going to be that. There's probably going to be an option for the ad unit, I guess. It would not be sending them to a website, but it'd actually be more information based like under the ChatGPT kind of text thing. There's probably gonna be something like that too, where it's like an option. CPM is probably different or whatever.
I'm just gonna announce right here that I'm launching an ASM agency. So, if you guys want to get in on the game early, AI search marketing agency.
Oh yeah. Is it search though? Is it really search?
I mean, they're searching.
Oh, okay.
They're talking, right? If people
AI
can go
Q&A?
AEO,
isn't it basically AI and questions?
Well, we'll workshop it, but that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to start posting. Okay. I shit you not. I'm going to start posting about this now. What I think, how you can actually show up in the search results. Because how are they choosing which hot sauce to show? I mean, if there's 3 hot sauce companies who are targeting, who are running ads on ChatGPT, and someone's looking for this like recipe for a Mexican dish, how are they prioritizing which one to show? It's all going back. It's coming full circle to the same way. Like there's going to be some kind of like bidding. There's going to be some kind of like quality score or whatever, where like, oh, this product page has more information than that and it's more helpful. So therefore we're going to show that. It is like, it's actually going to be a full circle moment, I feel like.
True. 100%.
Okay.
It'll be interesting.
It will be interesting.
Just flagging.
Okay, this one next, we're moving to our just flagging segment.
Just flagging.
Just flagging. Okay, what do we got?
We got a good one because it's, speaking of ads, Super Bowl's coming up. It's a big one, right? Super Bowl ads. But this is a very interesting one because the MrBeast, what is he? I think he's the most followed, subscribed person on YouTube. He put out a tweet about the Super Bowl ads. Like he has this idea, and obviously a lot of brands, CEOs and CMOs and things like that responded. But one of them was the Salesforce CEO, Mark Benioff, and which is interesting, right? B2B company, and essentially, he says yes, and he went to their headquarters, and it sounds like they're doing a Super Bowl ad together. So there's a number of posts on LinkedIn about it. Very, very excited. So the first one here is from Ruben Burden, and he gives more information on it about, because, so to be fair, for Salesforce, they've actually spent a lot of money in the past. Like they were paying Matthew McConaughey $10 million a year. They've been doing Super Bowl ads for years. If there's any B2B company that can spend the money, it's the Salesforce. But MrBeast flew out to Salesforce headquarters. He pitched the idea and he got the job. So it sounds like they're putting together a Super Bowl ad, which I just want to note here. Super Bowl ads typically take a bit to kind of get going, right? They take a few months, 6 months or whatever. This MrBeast went to the Salesforce headquarters like 2 to 3 weeks out from the Super Bowl. So 3 weeks to the Super Bowl, and they have to do this whole thing. Isn't that crazy?
This makes me so nervous for B2B because we are notoriously slow in our approval processes. Yeah. But if Benny himself is like, screw it, we're going to do it, and just execute. They've got to just do it. They got to just run production. You can't go through 16 stakeholder reviews.
Well, no, I mean, I think, and that's the thing. If the CEO is heading it, I guess you can basically push everything through. Doesn't really matter all the stakeholders, because you are the stakeholder. Like, you are the end all be all. Vin Matano, our friend here, also put one out there, a post about it, and he's in like the B2C and B2B world, in my opinion. So I love his kind of takes on it. But he's just saying, like, is this the start of B2B kind of working with these type of creators, like B2C creators? So Jimmy Donaldson from MrBeast he clearly knows his stuff, right? Like, he's got like most viewed videos on YouTube ever. He's got Amazon, he's got a Prime, video kind of show and everything like that. I don't know. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Salesforce is not new to the Super Bowl game now, because they ran an ad last year, and I don't even remember what the freaking ad was. Was it Matthew McConaughey who did it last year?
He was in it, and that other guy. There's another guy that's in it too that's famous, but Matthew McConaughey is the big guy.
Wow. If only we were more researched as people reporting news in our area.
I knew it. Matthew McConaughey is all you need to know.
Yeah,
all right.
And the other famous guy. Go look it up.
He's a
guys,
B
okay?
player. He's a B.
Okay,
he's a B.
So they obviously got a lot of buzz from that, but MrBeast's demographic that he's popular with, whole different demographic too. And so that will be interesting in terms of like who he's going to bring to the table and what the idea is going to be, because he's also known for outrageous video ideas. And so it's such a weird partnership to have Salesforce and him, but I'm very excited to see it. There's going to be a Super Bowl party the night that, because it's above the fold is where we'll be during that time. So we're all flying in on Sunday, all the workshop people. We're going to be, chatting, whatever, doing a run through. And then Sahil's like, oh crap, I just realized that that's Super Bowl Sunday. So he's going to do like a Super Bowl watch party with everybody. So we'll all there's going to be like, 30 B2B marketers in this Airbnb of his watching the Salesforce ad together. I can't wait for the live commentary that's going to be there. You and I will actually be in the same room. That'll be freaking hilarious.
Well, no, I won't be there. I'll be there Monday.
Oh, so. Never mind. I will be there with other people doing live
Zoom
commentary.
In, or I'll Riverside in.
I'll FaceTime you.
That'd be fun. No, but I don't know. It's, well, the interesting thing, if you've ever watched MrBeast, all of every video is mostly about giving away money or a house or a car. So how are they going to play it? How's that going to go into it? Because it's always like it's kind of like there's always something that has to happen for something to happen. And so I don't know, it could be, I don't know how the ad's going to work.
Well, as long as they're not
AI,
as long as they're not giving away Teslas,
tie back there.
Oh, big tie back. Sorry.
Whatever happened there.
Whatever happened there. Anyway, maybe it's they're giving away 5 enterprise level CRM to 5 lucky customers or whatever. Wow, imagine off. That. Yeah, 10% off.
10p.
Yeah, that'd be freaking hilarious. But I'm very curious to see what his ideas are, because it's always something ridiculous and wild. So TBD on that. We shall obviously report back. Probably live. Yeah. Honestly, we might be able to do it live because we're doing a live recording of Notorious B2B there, and we'll be able to add it to the docket and talk through it in front of whatever 100 people that are going to be there.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, because we're gonna have a bunch of Super Bowl ads we can look at. Well, maybe like 2 B2B ads, but it'd be interesting. Yeah,
I'm excited. Get a 4-day break. I'm coming out there. There's gonna be tons of other companies. It's sponsored by Unbounce and SQL. Spiralize is the company that's hosting it. You have workshop leaders like Jess Cook, Anthony Pieri, Rob Kubinski. Tim's gonna be there for comedic relief. We're gonna take your website and
Destroy
give you
it.
all the tips about it. Destroy it
tips, yeah.
sweetly, gently,
Tips, yeah.
gently. So sell it to your uppers as basically group consulting hours. So that's it. Okay, we are moving to something interesting from the co-founder and CEO at Sendspark, Bethany Stashenfield. Big news: Sendspark was acquired by Xenon Partners. Thank you to customers, investors, etc. Last 7 years, we built a strong brand in the B2B sales space, rivaling well-funded competitors. They have 10K customers, etc., etc. Now they're passing the baton over to Xenon, who will continue building on the foundations that they put together. So obviously that one got a lot of buzz, like 1,200 reactions, 4 reposts on LinkedIn. But another one moves into acquisition land. So TBD to see how that one shakes out as well. Have you had a lot of interaction with Sendspark?
No. I know who they are. I know that, like, I think they're like a Loom competitor or something, like a Vidyard competitor.
Yes.
But yeah, no.
Kind of. I think their company page says video messaging with sales superpowers. So it's a video platform. You can make personalized videos basically for sales and marketing folks at companies like Apollo, LinkedIn, Warmly Clay, et cetera. They all, and Salesforce, use Sendspark to connect with prospective customers, book meetings, close more deals. So it's kind of a rival to what Chili Piper is doing with their chat. They're kind of like Loom, but they're more angled for salespeople, which is actually really smart and goes with the like whole niche thing. It's like you don't want to compete with Loom, who's super freaking huge and now part of Atlassian. You're kind of saying, yeah, we're kind of Loom, but we're for salespeople and for marketing people to help close deals. So that's cool. All right. Moving on to the next segment.
Let's noodle.
Let's noodle, baby.
Let's noodle.
We got a good one because you know what's back and cool again?
Oh, no.
Attribution.
Wait. Was it
And this
ever
one
gone?
blew up. I think
was it ever gone?
It did. I think it was gone for a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah, right.
I think it was gone for a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say so.
Okay. All right.
I think it got uncool. I think it was talked about too much for a little bit. But it's back, and Mary McPartlon Ford, Henry's daughter.
She's a director of marketing.
Did you get the joke?
No.
That was funny.
Oh, Henry Ford.
I thought it was funny. Henry's daughter.
Guys, take that out. Terrible joke.
No, that was a pretty good joke. But it blew up. We're talking 1,094. No, 95 actually. Likes, 161 comments, 24 reposts. She essentially says she is a lurker on LinkedIn. Starts off with, I never click on ads. I never replied to cold outbound emails. I never respond to LinkedIn email. I never comment on LinkedIn thought leader posts. I do read your entire LinkedIn posts, sometimes comments too. I do look up your company and what you do. I do read your email and notice when they're quite clever, personalized, or well-timed. I'm a zero-click nightmare and probably the worst person to do outbound against. But when you keep showing up, you occupy mental real estate, even when there's no proof to show for it. 92% of buyers purchase from their day one shortlist. Consistent, visible presence is what quietly puts you on someone's day one shortlist. So keep showing up. That's half the battle in outbounding, build awareness, and driving demand, yada, yada, saying, I don't click on your shit, but I do buy. And attribution rules. Right? That's what she's basically saying. Blew up. I would say she's right. And I think it's very interesting that it's back. I think that's awesome.
I'm going to say this too. Marketers are probably the worst ones to sell to in that regard, because how many posts do you see on LinkedIn that's like, I'm a marketer and one of my things is I strip the UTMs anytime I share a link. Like, we do it to ourselves. We're not even helping our neighbor marketer out. We're like, we know this is going to help you with attribution, but like, screw you. If I can't report on it, you can't report on it.
Yeah.
We're terrible. my buying journey is very similar to hers when I was in-house, where it had nothing to do with that. I would consume content. I was a hardcore LinkedIn lurker, never poster, never commented, none of that. Did I reach out to anyone on LinkedIn though? I don't think so, but I was also very busy. But I do agree with the shortlist thing. So if it was like someone's like, "Oh, we need a chatbot," I'm like, "Okay, let's go draft," because that's like biased based on my own experience, based on what I'm hearing from other people. And so I totally get it there. The interesting thing is actually the first comment that is on that post, because over here, which by the way, I noticed that she mentioned directive in there. So maybe she saw your fruit cutting at some point.
Maybe not. That's the attribution.
The first comment says, "Did you notice two of those names that she's mentioned?" Because she mentioned a bunch of names about people who are doing a good job, right? So she says Hockey Stack, Matt Mike, Daniel Wiener. That's kind of unfortunate. Directive, Fuse, Brian, Koflo, Winter, Qualified, and Dream Data. And I think they're referencing Hockey Stack and Dream Data. He said, "Did you notice two of those names sell full journey attribution, yet they're growing off of a journey their tools barely capture? Show up, get remembered, get searched later. That disconnect is the point. Do what they do, not what they say." Freaking mic drop.
Actually, that's
on that
hilarious.
one. Yeah.
Hey there, Jess Cook, head of marketing at Vector here. And anyone who listens to Tass and Tim on Notorious B2B is a friend of mine. So I'm going to hold your hand while I say this. Native targeting is filling your funnel with ghosts. Wouldn't you rather put your ad dollars toward, I don't know, people on your website, clicking your ads, researching your competitors? I know I would. Vector lets you build ad audiences from those exact people. Unlike native targeting, which gatekeeps that shit, only letting you pick like some titles and industries and then just trusting them to show your ads to the right people. Boo. Okay, rant over, go to vector.co and get your ad audiences right.
Okay. Justin Rowe, we know him. He runs Impactable LinkedIn ads agency. He says one of the cool things happening now is that platforms like LinkedIn are actually showing us ad exposure at the account level, which is letting us see influence on deals where there is no actual click, UTM, lead form, or anything else connected to the channel. I mean, you're in that space. Do you agree with that? How accurate is that though? Like, I find it really hard to trust any of LinkedIn's metrics because they're notoriously, I've used notoriously 16 times this episode already, but they're notoriously terrible at reporting anything.
Problem with LinkedIn's attribution is they have very, very wide. So they have like the attribution data, but it's like 1 impression, 8 impressions, like maybe 1 engagement. Like there needs to be a little bit more nuance there, because does it get influenced by 1 impression? Try telling it to a fucking CEO. You can get fucking laughed out of your mind. Like they'll destroy you if you tell them they got 1 impression. And there's like things like it's not separated by new business versus renewal. Like that stuff, renewals really screw up all those tools if that is in there. Because like you have 1 deal that's been there for, they just keep renewing every year. And it's like your biggest thing. And it makes it look like you got 2 million in pipeline because of like, there's so many, even with like all the other tools that are a little bit better, there's still so many nuances you have to pull out. So even when I'm reporting on those, I still have to dig through the CRM and look, as a new business versus renewal, is it upsell? Like there's so many nuances to it, which makes it so freaking annoying as well though. Like it's so annoying.
Yeah, totally. I can see that. But yeah, it was very interesting that attribution companies got mentioned in that post when she was like, you're gonna have trouble attributing me to anything. But I see all your shit.
That's true. It is very true. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't even know how to think about that.
Okay, moving on. This one is a little bit of a sad story. But Dan Goodman, who's an employee advocate, so he's already like in this space, whatever
This
that
one's
is.
brutal.
It is a little bit brutal. I know.
I'm crying. Okay. I'm like shivering over here.
Okay. Dan says, rep fired on vacation instead of being on paternity leave. What? Had a call with a rep named Alvin recently. His wife was 8 months pregnant and expecting shortly. He was working on 2 large deals that were about to close, and he was expecting $70K in commissions on those 2 deals. Alvin inquired how commissions are dealt with while on FMLA, which is short-term leave. For anybody who's not here in the US, you get FMLA. FMLA stands for Family something leave of absence, whatever. Although there was no written policy, Alvin was told he would get nothing. So Alvin decided to take 2 weeks PTO rather than paternity. That way he could still close his deals and get paid while he was on PTO. And then he would save his, FMLA for later. Okay. So now he was going to take his 4 months paid leave after when his wife's maternity leave ran out. A lot of couples do that now. So he communicated his plans to his employer, mistake number one. And then when he went on vacation for the birth of his son, he was terminated. He did not get the commission, not the PTO, and not the paternity leave. If he had gone on FMLA leave, the employer could not legally have fired him. Having gone on PTO, those same protections do not exist. Shockingly, 2 days later, someone named Shari shared a similar story using PTO instead of FMLA for mental health issue. The employer suggested it, the employee followed it, and was terminated. So TLDR, never use PTO just to avoid the paperwork and approval process for something that you're taking medical leave for or something that's important like that, because they do have the ability to can you if it came down to it. And especially apparently sharing your plans with your employer is also not the right move. This was a brutal one to read for sure.
This is why corporate sucks. Like that right there.
Yeah.
And it's even more sad is there was no good scenario here, because if they went out on leave and they couldn't get fired during that, fine. They don't win the deal. They don't get the deals, right, if they closed. But I can guarantee you when he got back, he got fired regardless.
Yes.
Like he's going to fight regardless.
Yeah, it was just delaying the inevitable because he was not getting paid anyway. So he just kind of expedited what was going to happen regardless, because they were just like, yeah, we'll get rid of this dude.
I mean, do you think it was because we don't know the backstory? We don't know if they had some troubles before, or was he not hitting
right.
goal, like whatever that is. But assuming everything was okay, is it because those big deals would have, I don't know, like are those big deals closing? They would have closed without this guy. Would they have been such huge commission that they'd rather just fire the guy? If so, that's even worse.
Yeah, they wanted to keep the commission.
But my guess is
there's a performance.
They didn't have the best relationship or something. I'm sure it was rocky. Mm-hmm. Not always. By the way, not always. I know for a fact there's just some people that are just terrible.
And who's usually going to get canned first? It's HR, marketing, sales. Those are like the three places they hit it first, right? So, and so if it's someone sales rep, if maybe he's commission only, they'd rather keep the 70K. I don't know. We don't have a lot of context there, but regardless, this person's right in the sense of, with the FMLA leave, take the FMLA leave. The only problem is with the US, FMLA gives you 12 weeks to take off for any kind of medical or family related issue that's happening. And they legally require companies to allot you that time. However, they don't legally require them to pay you during that time. So there are a lot of people in the US, mothers, parents, whatever, who will take FMLA, but they will not get paid for 12 weeks after just having a child. And FYI, it costs like $10,000 just to give birth to the child in a hospital setting. If not more, depending on that's a natural birth. So that's a whole big issue that you and I are not going to solve. Definitely not on this podcast, but it's just happening all around, and it just sucks that we don't have those protections in place for, employees here as they do in other countries.
The protections you get in Europe. Oof.
This is what I heard when we went there to Amsterdam to hang out with the Unmuted team. They said that they're not super worried about it. One, the cost of living is really low, so they don't have to pay salaries as high as the US, which sounds terrible, but he's like, you can have a very nice life here making 60, 70,000 US dollars, right? Like you can have a house, you can have like a really nice place to live. It's extremely safe. There's like no guns, that kind of stuff too over there. It's just like, I just saw 5-year-olds just hanging out. Like no one's going to touch someone's children. It's like weird how safe it is. That's 2. 3, if you get fired or laid off or something happens, first of all, it takes a lot to get to that point. A company can't just randomly fire you. But if they do decide to fire you, the government has protections in place to give you up to 100% of your income for like the first year, and then it starts to go down after that. But you could live happily for a couple of years with a full income, while you're searching for something else. It is very like people first. And then you have the US that's like, screw you.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah, it's great.
But you make more money over in the US. That's what it's like.
Oh my God, you're the worst. Okay, what's next? What do we have next? I'm actually kind of excited about this, and I want to hear an update on this situation. Go.
So basically, I'm gonna start with the stat here. Where was it? There's a stat here. Yeah, from Sprout Social. They did a study where creators, if they took their video or their image in a private jet, those perform 2 to 5x better than like any on the ground type of post, like just any other post. 2 to 5 times better than that because they were in a private jet. Now, what this person's saying, so this is from Colin Stewart Perrault. Yeah. They're basically saying you can rent out a private jet studio anywhere in most places. So like this person's talking about Scottsdale, but you can do it in like, there's many big cities will have this where you can rent those out and take those images, those videos. And he's saying private jet studio for $60 an hour.
Okay. So what did you do when you saw this?
So when I saw this,
tell the people.
Yeah. So when I saw this, because we're going to Fort Lauderdale, which is also very close to Miami, for Above the Fold that we talked about a little earlier today, I looked for a private jet studio. And it turns out you can rent a private jet studio for $250 an hour. Now, I will say is I did some more research today.
Okay.
And that one's gone. Someone already booked it.
No!
So we can't do that one.
Okay.
But I found another one. For $175 an hour. It's just it's like a different setup.
Okay.
I also realized that there's so many different studios that you can rent.
Okay.
You can pretty much rent anything you want. I'm talking like a hair studio. Like you can rent out like a 70s office, like old school, like computer, like not computers, typewriters and stuff. Like we're talking about like Mad Men type of office. You can rent out like anything, a yacht. Yacht's expensive, I will say.
Well, yeah, obviously.
That was very expensive.
Yeah.
That would been really cool. But you can pretty much rent out anything you want, like kitchens, and it's so cool that you can rent out.
Wait a second, because now my brain's sparking. So private jet background aside, what other cool ones can you and I? So for background, I told Tim we should do a photo shoot when we meet in person, either Fort Lauderdale or if we're at Spring or Drive or whatever, but definitely one of the earlier ones, preferably in Florida, and take professional pictures together. And we were going to do something funny. We're obviously not going to go get it although a JCPenney shoot would be freaking hilarious, but to find something, those JCPenney shoots with just like the background and everyone's like, it's very old timey 70s vintage anyway, but we were going to do something funny. And I was like, the minute I saw the private jet one, I was like, we need to find this. And you're like, I already looked it up. And so we have that as an option. But you said Mad Men. What else was there? And we could possibly go get pictures done there.
I mean, there is so many. Like, I mean, we can get crazy. There's prison cells. Like, you can do a jail
Shit, we
scene.
should do it.
You can do an interrogation room.
Yes.
You can do obviously like a beach house, like a rich cat beach house. Like
boring.
There's tons of those. There's like office rooms. There's like you can do a gym. Like there's like it looks like a like a corporate gym. Like you could do that type of thing too. I mean, there's so many things you can run out. Podcast studios, obviously, iconic Miami apartment. I mean, it's just the possibilities here are endless.
Okay, we're hitting all the marketing topics today. So we did the attribution. Now we're going to talk about gated or ungated. And someone had an interesting experiment that they ran on and put it on LinkedIn. Okay. So Chuck Moxley, he says, his tagline says 6-time SaaS CMO. Holy shit. How old is this guy? Okay. He is currently a fractional CMO at chuckmoxley.com. Of course he is. Okay. Let's see here. We spent $15,000 over 5 weeks promoting a gated ebook. We got 106 downloads. That's $142 per lead. Half gave us fake emails. A third downloaded it to avoid looking uninformed in a meeting, not because they wanted to buy anything. When we looked at the actual numbers, 3,400 people landed on that ebook page. Only 3% filled out the form, and we were actively preventing 97% of interested visitors from engaging with our content. So then we ungated everything, every ebook, every guide, every resource, all of it. There was tons of internal pushback. How we're going to generate leads, report to the board, how we're going to prove marketing is working, yada, yada. So they stopped reporting on leads entirely. I would love to see how this would go at any regular company. If I went to my boss and I said, hey, I've decided to stop reporting on leads altogether, she'd be like, cool, pack up your shit and get the hell out of here. Okay. So then he goes, we started reporting on pipeline and revenue instead, yada, yada. Okay. The results after 1 year, 265% increase in demo requests, 242% pipeline growth, 41 times increase in marketing sourced revenue, and pages consumed per visitor went from 1.2 to 8 per visit, and cost per engagement dropped 90%. They also added a simple form at the bottom of ungated pages that says, want this email to you, and hundreds of people filled it out, and every single email address was real because they actually wanted the content. So the old playbook says, gate your content, but leads aren't revenue, and forms that generate leads with fake emails aren't going to generate any value. Sometimes addition comes from subtraction. Blew up, 2,700 reactions, 88 reposts, like 300 plus comments. Give me your thoughts. I'm ready for the Tim Davidson devil's advocate. Let's hear it.
So my first reaction was, this guy's 4 years late. We've been doing this, bud. That was my first reaction.
Yes.
Chris Walker already went down this path with everyone. To give him chops.
Oh my God.
So I say that because LinkedIn's a bubble. I also work with some of these older companies, or have, and I know there's a lag time in those type of companies where they're still gating everything.
Yeah.
There's also the resurgence of gated content where, because to play complete devil's advocate, and again, I don't know this person, what the company is talking about. Like, I don't know who the audience is, but I used to work with a company where 50% of gated content downloads, those leads, turn into revenue. 50.
Your client, or you know of a company?
This is a client. No, this is my, not right now, but they were a client.
Whoa.
50% of gated content downloads turned into a closed one. Now, this is like a smaller ACV, you know, they're more of a land and expand. So it was like $8,000, $10,000 ACV, and it's a different audience than what we're talking about here. I don't know what their audience actually is, but I think there were, in some industries, the gated content still works.
What was the piece of content for your client?
It was like, so this company was like a veterinarian software, and they were basically targeting like small business veterinarian owners. And so the content was actually like starting a veterinarian office type of like 10 steps type of thing.
Okay.
And it was just like, it was like a kind of perfect timing type of content, because they'd find these people when they're trying to like start their own practice, blah, blah, blah. And that killed, right?
Wow.
Like gated content worked really well there.
Dang, sometimes I'm like, ugh, I worked for some boring SaaS products. I wish I worked for like vet software. That'd be so fun.
Yeah, I agree.
So fun to do.
I agree.
Okay, so here's Travis Tyler. We know him, our buddy who does social emotion. Travi. His comment is actually super interesting. So he says, I see almost everyone agreeing with you here, but can I challenge you a bit on this? 15K over 5 weeks on LinkedIn is such a small drop in the bucket, don't you think? If I were given that budget, I'd just say, no thanks, make it 150K and use it to run whitelisted meta ads over 12 weeks with some awesome influencers in your industry, and I think you'll see way different results. Paid social gets a bad rap or just ignored, often because it gets lumped into the gate versus ungate debate, when really the biggest issues are budget and execution of that paid social attempt. A fucking mic drop. Boom. He dropped it on that guy's foot.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, he's not wrong. Travi.
Yeah. Travi for the win. You know what? I'm kind of half and half in the camp, right? We've talked about this before where it's like, I feel like it's dumb to gate everything. And please don't gate content via social posts on LinkedIn. That's like it's so irritating. I would rather be taken to a page with a form with gate. It's like I expect that, but it's just like, please don't give me this long story. And then at the end, you're like, if you want it, comment. That's so irritating. But anyway, I will say this. I gate content. I give a lot of content away for free, but I also gate content. And the gated content is also free. I do nothing with that list. So I'm probably useless in terms of like, is that going to translate to pipeline? I have had clients say they've consumed everything in my gated content hub thing, which is just all my LinkedIn posts. So there's that. I'm also going to do a swipe file. That one's going to be gated. I do think that there has to be enough value behind the gate, to warrant that. Right? No.
Can I play devil's advocate here?
Always. That's what this podcast is about. What?
Yours makes no sense. Because you just said you gate the content, so you get the emails.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before, you and I separately. You don't do anything. You don't have a newsletter. You don't send them in an email sequence. You don't outreach. You don't call them. You don't cold call them. You don't do anything with it.
Don't do anything.
But you just said that you have some, potential clients or people that have said that they consume everything in it.
Yes. In
your scenario, you should not be gating it because you probably, and you're not asking for a lot and you're trusted in this space, right? So people are okay with giving you the email, but there was probably 10-20% of people at very minimum that didn't put their email in because they just don't like gates. And you missed out on that 10 to 20% more people because you don't do anything with the emails. If you told me you take those emails, you put them in your newsletter and like you get revenue from your newsletter, or if you told me you put them in an outreach email sequence, okay, fair. But you don't do anything with them.
I don't
so
do anything.
You actually are completely wrong in this sense. You should not be getting it at
I'm
all.
the worst. Yes. It's like the cobbler. It's like the cobbler's son's shoes or whatever. Like you don't do shit for yourself. You just do it for everybody else, So it's like, I thought about the only reason I gated it. Only reason
Tracking.
Because I have, that's it. I just wanted to know how many people were interested in it. That's it. I do not want to hound them. I do not want to email them. I've emailed them one time because the link to the resource hub changed. That's the only time I emailed them. I'm like, hey, by the way, the new link is this. That's it.
You did it because you love that email notification high. That's all you did it.
I get it every day.
One person submitted. That's the only reason you did it.
It's my dopamine hit every day.
Lame shit.
It's a B2B marketer's heroin. Okay. It's my little keridosi that I get every day, multiple times a day. Okay. So
to play devil's advocate on me, what I just said, there could be something to people putting an email that they are more committed. And so the people that actually do it actually consume it.
Yeah. Maybe.
And so the people that 10 to 20% that did not, they're not committed. So they don't get to read it. And you might have a more concentrated feedback loop. What I'm saying, it makes no sense. So I'm just gonna say nothing more. No more there.
Take that out.
No, you can keep that in. That's funny.
Yeah, keep that in. It's funny. Okay. Let's move on. What's next?
Oh, this one's interesting. This is actually on the other side of like corporate's not that bad. So we've talked about maybe.
We'll see.
We've talked about 996 before, right? We're not. I wouldn't say we're for it. I don't hate it, but I wouldn't say we're for it. And this is from Annie Lay, the Chief Revenue Officer at Subject AI. They have a different take, right? So they actually encourage their employees to work on the weekends by offering both swap days and $300 bonus days for salaried employees. You work a Saturday, you can either bank a PTO day to be used for another day or pocket $300, your choice. It's basically going on to say, reality of startup sales is that you're going to work a lot, blah, blah. Customer calls at 8 p.m. on Friday. You're going to pick it up. They basically are doing 996, but they're incentivizing people to work on the weekends, on Saturday specifically, by giving them an extra PTO day or giving $300. So the question becomes, if you are a salaried employee and you're made to do the 996 or work weekends or whatever for a startup. Obviously, if they're going to give you extra PTO days or more or money, that's way better than like assuming you're going to do it and you're just doing it. Right? Or am I wrong? I like it.
Okay. When I read this, I had a few problems. Okay. I'll be the bad guy this time. I like the idea of incentivizing people. I do think there's an imbalance in the incentive. Okay. So you're asking them, okay, you come in on weekends and stuff, you can bank a PTO day taken at a different time. Okay. That one's okay. That one's at least like, a day for a day. It's pretty equal. Like, I don't have any plans this Saturday anyway. I guess I'll save it for like a vacation. I'm going to do it with my friends or whatever, a few weeks down. Fine. That's fair. The $300 extra, that's nothing. That is nothing. And they're talking about it. And it's like weird because she said something about a salaried employee making an extra like $300, but then it's a sales role. So they're also commissioned, or like, what's their structure? Are they fully commissioned, or she's only saying it's a $300 for salaried employees, right? They're not doing it for the commission ones. So, but then it's a sales position. So I'm like, what is that? I don't think 300 is that much. If you look at how much someone is making in a day, what is that? Like, of a decently paid person.
No, and you're not wrong. So $300 is not much, right? Correct. And I was using, like, if someone decided to work half the year on Saturdays, so basically 26 times a year, because you got like Christmas times and like all that stuff, and you're gonna go on vacation, blah blah. You have kids, whatever. That would be an extra $7,800 in your pocket every year, like if you do that. So if you do $300, take the $300. The thing,
if you worked every weekend, or what are you talking about?
No, so I'm talking about if you work half the year, half the year Saturdays, right? So 26 times.
Okay.
26 Saturdays in the year.
Okay.
So to your point, $7,800. It's also going to be taxed, so you're not going to get that much of it, really, right? You're going to get maybe like $4,000. So to your point, it's not that much.
No.
But it's more than nothing.
It's more than nothing.
People assume you have to do sometimes.
And if you have nothing going on. So like we've talked about this, where 996 works for someone who's young, hungry, ambitious, wanting to climb the ladder. You have the time. Like me in my early 20s, I'd be like, let's fucking go. I'll do it. I worked nights, my first job. Like I was driven, all of that stuff. It changes when you have a family. I did the math on the 300, and basically roughly it's 70 grand a year. It's someone, if you got paid $300 a day, 5 days a week for, whatever, 52 weeks a year, whatever, it's around 70K. That's someone making a 70K salary. In the US, that would be like 40K net that you'd actually get in your paychecks because taxes. So all I'm saying is, of those two incentives, do the banking of the PTO, don't take the 300 cash. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of like the lottery. Do I take the lump sum, or do I get it over time?
Here's the funny thing. You can't bank the PTO. Because let's just say you work those 26, so again, half the Saturdays of the year, and you bank an extra 26 PTO days.
Yeah.
You're obviously going to start off with some PTO days, so whatever that is.
Yeah.
26. That's what? That is 8 weeks.
Yeah.
You're going to get fired if you take off 8 weeks. You're going to get fired instantly.
Yeah, instantly.
This is the unlimited PTO problem.
Okay.
You can't bank that PTO. So
yeah, you're right.
The only option is $300. Sorry, but it is. Maybe 1 or 2, right? You could do a couple, but you can't take 8 weeks off. You're going to get fired. Promise
How about this? Don't ask your fucking employees to come in on the weekends. Everybody works their regular schedule. If there is a customer that wants to talk to someone at 8 p.m. on Friday, they can reach them on their fucking cell phone, and you don't need to go into the office. How about that?
Again, it depends on the company, right? Like if you're
no,
think about it. Like it's as a startup, like that's what you do. You have a salary, but you're more invested in the stake of the company, and you love the hooting and hollering, and you work the 996 because that's all you're doing all day. You don't have kids. You have maybe you play pickleball on Sundays, but Sundays you're off, whatever. You can work, you can hustle. You can take Red Bull every night and be okay. You don't need to
my
sleep that
God.
much. That's the thing. That's where I in my life, fuck off is my answer to that.
Yeah, no
But
way.
I'm what 48 now, like sort of.
Okay.
Back when I was 20, it's different, right? Like it's different stages of your life. I don't feel like I need to do that.
Tim is not 48, just for anybody wondering, like, wow.
Well, that's why I had the asterisk at the end of like.
Did you have the asterisk? Okay.
Yeah,
all
sort
right.
of, kind of.
Okay. Let us know your opinions on that, because clearly we're arguing over it. I don't think the company should do it at all. Like, what's gonna change on a Saturday? I don't know. But like, why can't it be done somewhere else? You know, maybe like product stuff, but just vibe code it. Vibe code it all. Who gives a shit? You know.
Work harder during the week. Stop taking matcha
yeah,
breaks.
Yeah, work harder during the week. Don't do
Stop
stuff on
watching
school night.
Stop watching Avengers while you're doing work. Like stop.
Yeah,
Stop watching
it.
Netflix.
Yeah. Okay, let's go into our final, my favorite segment, what has become my favorite segment. Closed one. People who won the internet, well, who won LinkedIn this week, in our opinion.
Small part of the internet.
Very small part of the internet. Okay, we're going to talk about Kyle, who makes this joke. So Kyle makes fun of us people on LinkedIn because we think the world revolves around us, as my intro to the segment just alluded to. He says, okay, normal person. Hey, dude, it's Friday. Grab a beer later. Person on LinkedIn. Friday beers aren't just about unwinding after a long week. They're about connection and camaraderie with colleagues. The chance of us staying out until the wee hours, getting wasted, and missing our kids' ball practice isn't just high, it's inevitable. And honestly, that's the best part. Frickin' blew up. I laughed because it's so true. Our entire feed is full of shit like this. But it's just funny when it's put into normal context. And actually, speaking of normal context, there was a funny story that happened this week, and I like freaking just chatted it to everybody I possibly could, you included. You laughed so hard, right? I mean, I didn't see you, but I could imagine that you were laughing really hard. And basically, which kind of goes in line with this one. My husband got a new job at this company, Data Ideology. He's actually been there a few months, and they finally put the announcement post out, which was fine. Everything's great. And it's funny because his company, Data Ideology, put the post out. And then Nash is on there. The description is like very standard, like, hey, we want to welcome Nash as director of, AI strategy and stuff at our consultancy, yada, yada, yada. So people are commenting on there, right? Congratulations, Nash. Looking forward to partnering with you on future opportunities. Congrats, Nash Bober. Okay, so this guy, Drew Dodson, my husband went to college with him. He has not talked to him in years. They exchange a few words here and there. But you think about college, they're having fun, their relationship, very buddy college. Okay. He comments on this post with one word, elongated. It says, gay. Okay. The whole time. And my husband, we're like eating dinner. He starts laughing and he screenshots it right away. He's like, I got to screenshot this before anybody takes it down. And he sends it over to me. And he's like, the audacity of him to, one, not have talked to me in years. And then two, come out of the woodwork on a company posted post announcing me as like a dad with two kids, like a doting dad with two kids and working in Columbus. And this guy's over here like, gay. And the best part is Drew is a director of risk management. So he's in like finances and auditing and internal auditing and stuff. And all his background comments are just funny, like, not funny. They're very vanilla. They're like, congrats, Sue, on the job or whatever. And then randomly comes out of this. There was so much laughter. I sent it to every group chat possible. And we were laughing, like crying, laughing for 15 minutes. And then it finally did get taken down. But that's kind of like.
When you sent it to me, I was crying, laughing just to myself, because that's like the classic. Now, obviously, the context here is crazy. On the company page, even if it's on his personal post, like that's not even that bad, but like on the company page, director of risk management, whatever, it's just so funny. But that's like the classic friend guy group of non-LinkedIn friends. Like if I put out like, oh, I'm starting a business, I put this into my group chat with one of my friends that is a mailman, one that's a gym, he works at a gym, and then one that works at a bank. They would put that there's that GIF from Hangover of the guy in the classroom where he like steps back. Gay. It's like the most funniest thing, and that's the response you would get. So I was crying because that's like it was just so funny because that's the exact response I can only assume so many people can relate to.
They don't have the buddy type of friendship, which made it even funnier that it happened. Okay.
So funny.
This one is one that anybody on LinkedIn can probably relate to. We have Anastasia here. Anastasia says, a short but sad LinkedIn story. Comments on a connections post, receives a witty response from a non-connection, engages in silly banter with non-connection. A hearty back and forth continues for 5 or 6 comments until someone ends it with a heart or support emoji. I decide, you know what? This person is my kind of person, so I send them a connection request. Connection request sits for a couple of days. Connection request declines after 3rd day. Did our interaction like mean anything to you? And then this little gif of like a crying Jerry. Is that Jerry?
Oh, he's Jerry.
Yeah. And again, blew up, 1,000 reactions. It's so freaking funny. I'm so glad LinkedIn doesn't say when your connections are declined. You obviously assume that because you go to their profile and you see like, oh, the connect thing is there again, I think. I don't know. I've never gone back, but like, you know, or it's like awaiting connection or something like that. You're like, I sent this to you like weeks ago. What's the deal? But this is all a story that we can relate to. Okay. You know who's back? Our buddy Dean is back. Okay. Dean, our guy, was automating outbound, telling people that, sending it to women specifically and saying, I know LinkedIn isn't a dating site and I actually have a girlfriend, but I want to say you're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. He sent it twice to this person, twice. December 28th was one time, and then today, and that was 5 days ago. So he's running monthly automations on this thing. And then there was a post where then we tried to find him because we saw 2 posts like this, and he was gone. He was off, and now he's back.
Yeah,
Dean is
but
back.
do you remember when I said this seems like it's automated, like a clay table type of thing? And you're like, no, because he switched it up. Yeah, he did switch it up because he's smart. You see how he's switching it up? But this one, all he really did was switch up like the hottest woman versus most beautiful.
Yes.
Like he's testing a little messaging there.
Little
I'm telling
A/B
you, this
testing.
is automated dating.
No.
I don't even know what you call it, but it's automated. And it's outreach at its finest.
And he's in a profile. His profile picture is him and another woman. Like, what is happening here?
Well, he calls it out. I mean, what do you mean? He says,
I
actually have a girlfriend.
Shit.
He's playing the game. He's playing the ring game. Like it's, you know, like that classic, like, oh, if the guys at the bar with the ring, like the girls are attracted to him or whatever. Like that's just the classic. He's playing the game. He knows what he's doing. It's messaging. It's all messaging. Everything's marketing.
Amazing. You know what the best part of this post is? Is this Allison person who posted about this has a hashtag that says Allison with 2 L's. That's the hashtag. And second hashtag, rebel without a clue. Okay, ma'am. Ma'am.
Love it.
I don't know. I feel like there might be something between Dean and her. They seem similar league. But anyway, and we're ending on that note. That is the internet and LinkedIn and B2B for this week. We are so official with our Riverside, but retention is tanking.
Yeah.
All right, let's be honest. You probably didn't go to school for B2B marketing. I didn't. And that's exactly why we built Exit 5. It's now the top community for B2B marketers. You can learn more about our community and our in-person events over there at exit5.com, or at least join the newsletter. I read every message and I promise that if you reply, I will reply back. See you over at exit5.com.
Big thanks to Vector for keeping our ad dollars where they belong, in front of people that Seth would love to talk to. So stop donating your money to native ad targeting and start targeting your exact buyers with Vector.co.